3 months after a natural childbirth, my husband, out of concern for my health, had not been intimate with me even once, allowing me to recuperate. However, on the day before National Day, I discovered a set of sexy lingerie in his bag. Initially, I thought it was a birthday gift he had prepared for me. Unexpectedly, that very night, he informed me that he had to go on a business trip. It dawned on me that the marriage between me and Bai Chi was in trouble. Without a word, I took out the set of lingerie from his bag and then pushed open the door to his study. Upon seeing the lingerie in my hand, a flash of panic crossed Bai Chi's eyes. Soon, he composed himself and gave me a tender smile. "It's for you. Do you like it?" I stared at the smile on his lips and the affection in his eyes, yet my heart was icy cold. If I hadn't seen the lingerie in his bag and if he hadn't mentioned the business trip, I would have believed him. His decision not to be intimate with me 3 months after my childbirth was, I thought, out of genuine concern for my well-being, wanting me to fully recover. But now I walked towards him and immediately picked up his phone that was lying on the table. To avoid arousing his suspicion, I bent down and kissed his cheek. "Wait for me. I'll take a shower and put on this outfit for you to see." "Okay." Bai Chi also kissed my forehead. After walking out of his study, I wiped my mouth with the back of my hand and then wiped the spot on my forehead where he had kissed me. Holding the lingerie, I entered the bathroom and couldn't wait to unlock his phone. We had been together for 7 years and married for 3. Our relationship had always been wonderful. From the first day we established our relationship, he had voluntarily told me his phone password. He said I could check his phone anytime, and he would never do anything to hurt me in his entire life. I had always trusted him wholeheartedly. For a full 7 years I had never checked his phone, so his password remained unchanged. When I opened his WeChat, at the top was the profile picture of a young girl. She was facing the sea with her hands held high above her head, forming a large heart. Bai Chi's for her was baby, while for me it was my name, Suexan. Such blatant favoritism made me momentarily dazed. I wondered who was truly his legal wife. Their relationship was bold and exposed, showing no intention of concealment. Did he simply not care whether I knew or not? When I opened their chat box, it was filled with nothing but expressions of love. From morning to night, words like love and baby filled page after page of the chat history. It was hard to imagine that he, who barely communicated with me at home, had such a side. I remembered when we first got married. I had playfully called him darling, but he had frowned and said it was better to call him by his name, claiming that those pet names were childish. My already broken heart seemed to be crushed again. I took a deep breath and, looking at my still trembling hands, clicked into the girl's moments. The background picture was a photo of her and Bai Chi kissing. The girl was completely unreserved, showing Bai Chi's side profile clearly without even blurring it. I took out my own phone and took pictures of all the evidence of Bai Chi's infidelity. Continuing to scroll down, I saw that the girl posted in her moments every other day. And all the content was related to Bai Chi. They shared the same ice cream, the same cup of milk tea. Bai Chi gave her a necklace one day and jewelry the next. He truly seemed to hold her dear. When Bai Chi knocked on the door, I calmly placed the phone on the sink. "Honey, did you forget? This outfit is in my old size. After giving birth, I need to wear one size larger." I handed the lingerie back to Bai Chi, and I could feel him visibly relax. "When I'm back from the business trip, I'll get you a larger size." Bai Chi's eyes scanned around and finally landed on the phone on the sink. He picked up the phone, gave me a fleeting glance, and turned to leave. Looking at his familiar profile, I stepped forward and hugged him. "Today is my birthday. Can you stay with me?" Since I gave birth, he had used my need for rest as an excuse to move to the side bedroom by himself. We hadn't slept in the same room for a long time. "I have to go on a business trip soon." Bai Chi turned around and gently tucked a strand of hair behind my ear. His gesture was tender, but his tone was firm. "Can't you not go? Or leave later? Honey, I really miss you. Stay with me a little longer." I knew that Bai Chi wasn't really going on a business trip. He was going on a date with that girl. I held his hand tightly. "Xin, what's wrong? Are you not feeling well? If so, I'll ask the driver to take you to the hospital." Bai Chi had always called me by my name. In these 7 years, I had never heard him call me wife from his lips. When I was young, I thought he was shy. Now I realized that those sweet, exclusive pet names like wife and baby were reserved only for that girl. "My boss is already urging me. Be good at home. Take care of yourself and the baby. I'll make up for your birthday when I'm back." Bai Chi's phone rang. It was an un-Beiju Ed number, and he always Beiju Ed his boss's number. Seeing the flash of joy in the corner of his eyes, I knew that this call was probably from that girl. "Even if you're in a hurry, you can still have a meal with me and blow out the candles. The food is already prepared. Just stay with me for 10 minutes. Before I could finish speaking, Bai Chi turned impatiently. "It's not like this is your only birthday. There will be next year and the year after. I'll accompany you next time. With that, he disappeared into the study. He quickly packed his laptop bag and hurriedly pulled his suitcase, leaving home. As he passed the dining table filled with sumptuous food, he didn't even glance at it. Without hesitation, he opened the door. Listening to the sound of the car driving away, I gave a bitter smile, and the pain in my eyes quickly subsided. I dialed my lawyer's number. Please draw up a divorce agreement for me. Having made up my mind, I slept relatively well that night. When I woke up the next day, there was a new friend request on WeChat. This friend request had been sent for several months, and it was resubmitted at regular intervals. I had always ignored it. At this moment, looking at his newly sent request, I noticed that the person was actually Bai Chi's mistress, Lu Ruyan. After accepting his friend request, I opened his moments. There was a new update last night. On the first day of National Day, may our motherland thrive, and may my love and I last forever. Below the caption were photos of a candlelit dinner between Bai Chi and her. Compared with the home-cooked meals I prepared at home last night, what Bai Chi and Lu Ruyan ate was extremely sumptuous. There were king crabs and Australian lobsters paired with fruit wine that women love. From the photos, it could be seen that Lu Ruyan was in a very good mood last night. She had drunk 2 whole bottles of wine. Bai Chi was the first to like her post and left a comment below. Wish my baby happiness every day and forever. After that sentence, there was a series of red hearts and a series of roses. I have always believed that flies don't land on seamless eggs. So when faced with problems, I only look for the egg, not the fly. Yesterday was your wife's birthday. Aren't you afraid she'll be angry if you don't accompany her? When the call connected, a young girl's voice came through. She's not as important as you. Besides, she's easy to please. I'll just buy her a gift casually when I get back. Bai Chi's voice carried a tinge of something unpleasant. From some details, I could tell that they were engaged in some indescribable act at the moment. Although I had already decided to abandon this relationship, suddenly facing such a disgusting scene, I still broke down. My breathing became increasingly difficult. So my tenderness and thoughtfulness had become easy to please in his eyes. Thinking back on the past 3 years, I had always understood and supported him for his absence at various crucial moments. I never argued with him or made a fuss. I thought he saw all my kindness to him. I never expected that the gifts he gave me were never carefully selected but just casually given. I immediately turned on the recording function and recorded the voices on the other end. Then I want it too. From now on, whenever you give her a gift, you have to give me double, and mine must be more expensive and better than hers. The coquettish woman's voice was filled with unbearable happiness, and she let out a shameful moan. Of course my baby deserves the best. Not to mention gifts, I'd give you my life. Bai Chi's following words were so unclear that I couldn't listen anymore. I hung up the phone and managed to steady myself before Jenon sitting down on the chair. He could give his life to her. Back then, when my parents didn't agree to my marriage with him, he knelt down in front of my parents and promised them the same thing. He said he loved me so much that he could give me his life. When Bai Chi returned, the 7-day National Day holiday had ended. He came home and casually placed the suitcase aside, looking extremely tired. There were even dark circles under his eyes. It was evident how exhausted he and Lu Ruyan had been during these 7 days. This is the birthday gift I'm making up for you. I'm sorry for going on a business trip on your birthday. I'll stay with you at home today. He took out a bouquet of flowers from behind and presented it to me. Along with the flowers was a beautiful ring on the flowers. Early this morning, before Bai Chi came home, I had seen Lu Ruyan's moments. A large bouquet of 999 pink roses took up a large space in Lu Ruyan's living room. There was also a set of exquisite jewelry. Besides the ring he gave me, Lu Ruyan had the same style necklace and earrings. Looking at the familiar yet strange Bai Chi in front of me, when we first met, he was young and innocent. He was stunned when he saw me for the first time. If I hadn't been quick-eyed and caught him, he would have fallen down the school stairs. When did the innocent boy change from a lamb to a wolf? Was it when I first took him to my home? Or from the year he started his career? Or on the day he met Lu Ruyan? I didn't mean to not contact you these days. I was just too busy with work and didn't have time to take care of it. Don't be angry, okay? I just got back and I'm really tired. You're usually so understanding. Please be understanding this time. Seeing that I didn't take his gift, he directly placed the flowers on the coffee table and turned to go upstairs, showing no patience with me at all. The reason why I was certain that he was having an affair as soon as I saw the sexy lingerie was not just because of the lingerie itself. I had already noticed that many details about Bai Chi had been off for nearly a year. I had put all my energy into the child and thus ignored him. Until I found the lingerie, everything finally made sense. I suddenly became curious about when exactly he got together with Lu Ruyan. So I picked up his phone that was placed next to the flower arrangement and unlocked it. This time it was different from last time. His WeChat background had been replaced with a large-scale Shichun photo of him and Lu Ruyan. In the photo, Lu Ruyan was wearing a white long-sleeve t-shirt, with her lower body naked. Her long hair was scattered behind her shoulders. As she changed one pose after another, the area between her 2 long legs was faintly visible. As a woman, I was shocked when I saw that photo. No wonder he wanted to sleep in a separate room from me and always refused me. This was the truth, a bloody truth. I flipped through it again and soon found the answer. It turned out that in the 2nd month after I got pregnant, he had already been with Lu Ruyan. After saving the evidence, I put down the phone. Just then a message from Lu Ruyan popped up on WeChat. Do you know who I am? Afraid that I might not see her moments, she deliberately messaged me privately and sent me the flowers and jewelry that Bai Chi had given her. Yes, I know. So what? I was quite puzzled. As the wife, I hadn't even approached this mistress, Yet she took the initiative to contact me. Was she trying to take my place, or just simply trying to provoke me? If she was trying to take my place, being so straightforward and approaching me wasn't a wise move. So she was just trying to provoke me. I'm pregnant with your husband's child. Can you, out of the kindness of being women and mothers, give your husband to me? Lu Ruyan sent a bold and direct message, along with a photo of a pregnancy test stick. Looking at the 2-bar pregnancy test stick, my head spun. During these 7 days, I had thought a lot and considered many things. Finally, I managed to make a decision. Although I had mentally prepared myself when I saw the scene, I was still stunned. What evidence do you have that the child is my husband's? What if it's fake? I endured the dizziness and typed out the message. My physical condition after giving birth wasn't as good as before, but my reason was still there. I can wait until the child is older and do a DNA test. Lu Ruyan seemed quite confident and sent another long message. The general idea was that Bai Qi loved her, not me. The one who wasn't loved was the third party, and I, the third party, should make way for their true love. Does Bai Qi know about your pregnancy? I ignored her declaration of love and directly asked whether Bai Qi was aware of it. I haven't told him yet. Lu Ruyan replied after a while. If Bai Qi knew and she came to tell me, it might be at Bai Qi's behest. If Bai Qi didn't know and Lu Ruyan came to me alone, it only showed that she wasn't sure either. She wasn't certain whether Bai Qi would abandon me and our child for her, and her child if she told Bai Qi about the pregnancy. Let's talk. These things are not easy to discuss on WeChat. It's better to talk face to face. I sent her my address. By the time I finished talking with Lu Ruyan, Bai Qi had come to my side. He put his hands around my waist and leaned his head close to my cheek. Since our daughter was born, he had shown no desire for me. Even when he occasionally hugged me, I never had any improper thoughts. If I didn't know how passionate he was with Lu Ruyan, I would definitely think he was as pure as a gentleman. There's something I want to discuss with you. I knew he wouldn't hug me suddenly for no reason. I endured the nausea and didn't push him away. I want to buy another small-sized house. The housing prices are right now. I'll leave it for our daughter to live in the future. The house is right across from our home. That community is very close to ours. It will be convenient to go to our daughter's house to see her and take care of her. Although he said it was for our daughter, in fact it was for Lu Ruyan. He wanted to arrange Lu Ruyan across from our community for easy trysts. Whatever. If you want to buy it, go ahead. Seeing through but not revealing, I gave a bitter smile and pushed him away, then turned and went into our daughter's room. The next day Bai Qi went to work and I went out to meet Lu Ruyan. Lu Ruyan pressured me to divorce. I told her that Bai Qi didn't love her at all. We had made an agreement. The purpose was for a child. After I gave birth to our daughter, I had a massive hemorrhage and couldn't get pregnant again. Bai Qi chose the young her to have a second child for me. Of course Lu Ruyan didn't believe me. I showed her a check and told her that the check was the nutrition fee I was giving her. Bai Qi would give her a house in a few days as compensation for her pregnancy. In this way, Lu Ruyan left half believing and half doubting. I then called Bai Qi and urged him to buy the house quickly. Half a month later, Bai Qi said the house was bought and he had also found a tenant. I knew Lu Ruyan had received the house. Lu Ruyan said, "You win. Why do you, a loving couple, come to ruin me? I've accepted the house. As for this child, I won't let you have your way." Along with Lu Ruyan's WeChat message was a photo of her taking abortion pills. The child is innocent after all. Don't do this. I was eating fruit while sending the message expressionlessly. I've already taken it. It's too late for you to regret. As I had investigated, Lu Ruyan had been with Bai Qi before she graduated. She had no social experience and didn't understand the complexity of human nature. I just spent a little effort and she fell for it. Anyway, we're sorry. Come to my house tomorrow. I'll ask Bai Qi to talk to you about the compensation for the abortion. I checked the time with the lawyer and sent Lu Ruyan the new time, making an appointment to talk to her face to face tomorrow. After doing all this, looking at the packed luggage, I took one last look at this home and then walked out. Bai Qi had been back for so long, but he hadn't noticed that the things of me and our daughter at home had been packed away. His person wasn't at home, and his heart had left as well, so much so that he didn't even notice such an obvious thing. In the evening, Bai Qi finally noticed that our daughter and I were not at home. He called me but I didn't answer. The next morning, at the time I had agreed with the lawyer, Bai Qi called me. This time I answered. "Xin, where are you? Why did you disappear as soon as I came back? And where's our baby? Where did you take her?" "Your baby? Who do you mean?" I was very sensitive to the word baby now. As soon as I heard Bai Qi mention those two words, the first thing that came to my mind was Lu Ruyan. Of course I mean our daughter. Who else? Xin, stop making trouble. The child is so young and there are so many viruses outside. Taking her out is not good for her health. I've come back to make up for your birthday and even gave you a belated birthday gift. I work so hard usually all for you and our daughter. You weren't like this before. Why have you become so unreasonable? Bai Qi stood on the moral high ground, accusing me comprehensively without batting an eyelid. I have nothing to say to you. Talk to my lawyer. Listening to his shameless words, my cold heart became numb. I didn't feel any pain at all. "Lawyer, what do you mean?" Seeing that I had hung up the phone, he called again unwillingly. Just as the words imply, I hung up on him once more. This time Bai Qi didn't call back because my lawyer rushed over and presented him with the divorce agreement, relaying the reasons for my divorce on my behalf. Only then did Bai Qi realize that I knew about his affair. "Honey, let me explain." It was rather ridiculous. In the 3-year marriage, he had called me honey only a handful of times. Now that he knew I was going to divorce him, he changed his tune. What was this? I have eyes to see, ears to hear, and a mind to discern. I believe in what I have seen, heard, and analyzed with my own faculties. So what exactly do you want to explain to me? I questioned him coldly. She's not like that. I was just having some fun with Lu Ruyan. She's young, beautiful, and has a great figure. Even if she wasn't with me, given her nature, she would have fooled around with someone else. I know very well where my heart lies. Honey, the one I've always loved is you. Are you at your parents' place? Wait for me. I'll come over and explain in person. Bai Qi panicked, and his voice was evidently filled with urgency. Aren't you afraid if Lu Ruyan finds out how you've defined her? I watched as Lu Ruyan had already appeared in the living room of the Hunfeng that Bai Qi and I shared on the monitor. So what if she knows? I was only interested in her body in the first place. Bai Qi was about to continue when he turned around and saw Lu Ruyan standing in front of him. His phone dropped to the ground, and his eyes were filled with disbelief. What did you just say? Lu Ruyan was indeed young, beautiful, and had a great figure, but at the same time she was gullible. After seeing the message I sent her, she immediately rushed to our Hunfeng. I remotely controlled the smart door lock and opened the door. Lu Ruyan walked right in and happened to hear Bai Qi's true feelings. Everything was just so perfectly timed. Bai Qi froze. I thought you truly loved me. I never thought you only loved my youth and beauty. Lu Ruyan rushed over and grabbed his arm, demanding an explanation. At her age, love was essential for survival. Whether Bai Qi loved her and was with her, or was with her for her body, it was a devastating blow to her. She had already believed what I said, and now hearing Bai Qi's words with her own ears, she was completely convinced. I was just trying to coax Su Xian just now, baby. Just as Bai Qi was about to defend himself, he realized that Lu Ruyan's sudden appearance was part of my scheme. He immediately changed his tone. Why are you here? Get out. The one I love is my wife. It's over between us. Don't come to see me anymore. As Bai Qi spoke, he winked at Lu Ruyan. Lu Ruyan was already furious and didn't understand Bai Qi's wink at all. Say that again, Bai Qi. I was a virgin when I was with you. How could you betray me? I won't let you off the hook for this. You can't just have an affair and then want to return to your family. You and your wife must compensate me for my losses. If you want to break up with me completely, give me 3 million. Then I, Lu Ruyan, will never see you again. Lu Ruyan had been influenced by me, and with all the toxic online advice she had consumed, she firmly believed that if she couldn't get love, she should at least get financial compensation. So when she learned that Bai Qi wanted to break up with her, her first reaction was to ask for money. 3 million. Bai Qi was taken aback. The Lu Ruyan in his memory wasn't such a woman. Yes, 3 million. Not a penny less. Otherwise, I'll expose your affair and the fact that you used me to have a child. Let's see how you can still work at the company then. You and your wife have plotted against me like this. If you don't give me enough money, I'll expose it to the media. I'll reveal everything about you to everyone. I had achieved my goal and lost interest in the argument between Lu Ruyan and Bai Qi. Looking at the copied video, I sent it to my lawyer. Lu Ruyan was young and naive. She didn't know that with those words she had just said, she was already enough to send herself to prison. Extorting 3 million yuan would earn her a few years in jail. When Bai Qi learned that I had called the police, he came to my parents' house immediately. I told him that Lu Ruyan had been detained. In an instant, his eyes turned blood red. Su Xian, you're so ruthless and resourceful. He had forgotten that from the moment he met me I was such a person. If I hadn't been resourceful, how could I have rescued him from his strange and complicated family of origin? You can choose to divorce by agreement now, or I can file a lawsuit for divorce. I soothed my daughter and handed her to the nanny, then faced Bai Qi. This was my parents' house, and there were people around. I wasn't afraid of what Bai Qi might do to me. Release Lu Ruyan, and I'll agree to a divorce by agreement. Bai Qi lowered his head. He knew that I always meant what I said. When I wanted to marry him back then, my parents locked me up at home for a whole month, but I didn't compromise. Later, when I wanted to help him get into the company, I worked hard for half a year and finally succeeded. Now that I wanted a divorce, I would do as I said. Whether it was crying, kneeling, pleading, or threatening. Lu Ruyan broke into my house and extorted my husband. It's only natural that I called the police. The police arrested her. If you want the police to release her, hire a lawyer. I can't help you. I knew that some evidence couldn't be used as evidence. If I had secretly recorded the video of Lu Ruyan, it probably wouldn't have had any effect. Only by luring Lu Ruyan to my house could I do it legitimately. At first, Bai Qi and Lu Ruyan couldn't understand my plan, but now they probably had figured it out. But it was too late. You look so strange to me now. Fine, I agree to a divorce by agreement. Bai Qi was filled with remorse, and his eyes looking at me were full of resentment. He still hadn't realized that it wasn't me who had forced him to this point, but he himself. Then signed the papers. I gave my lawyer a look, and he immediately took out the agreement and pen that had been prepared long ago. Bai Qi painstakingly wrote his name stroke by stroke. We are all adults and should be responsible for our actions. Since he chose to have an affair, he had to bear the consequences. To be fair, Bai Qi was still rational. If he agreed to the divorce now, I could still divide the property with him. If he was ungrateful, then everything would be different. Back then, my parents compromised and agreed to my marriage to Bai Qi, but at the same time, they asked me to sign a document voluntarily waiving my inheritance of their estate. Over the years, the reason why Bai Qi was dissatisfied with me was, on the one hand, perhaps because I couldn't satisfy him physically after giving birth, and on the other hand, due to financial reasons. After marriage, my parents didn't provide us with any financial support. All our expenses, including the money for me to go to the maternity center during my confinement, were earned by Bai Qi. He felt unbalanced and naturally disliked me. Unfortunately, it was only recently that I realized this. If I had known earlier that he valued money so much, with my previous naive view of love, I probably would have taken out my premarital money to subsidize our life. Everything was just right. It was all arranged by fate. A month later, Bai Chi and I got a divorce. Since our daughter was under 1 year old, the custody automatically went to me. Bai Chi took out a portion of the community property as child support at one time. The Hunfang was bought by Bai Chi, so it was left to him. The small-sized house, which was community property during our marriage and he had given to Lu Ruyan, was also retrieved by me. Most of our cash ended up in my pocket. It had to be said that when we got married we overcame numerous difficulties, but now the divorce was incredibly simple. Because Bai Chi got into the company because of me, as soon as the news of our divorce spread, he was effectively forced to resign. Only after the divorce did Bai Chi realize that everything he had achieved wasn't due to his own ability, but because of the title of husband of Su Exine. He applied for many jobs, but in the current job market, he couldn't find a good one. Good jobs didn't want him and he looked down on bad jobs. He just muddled along. Finally, one day, he came to me under the pretext of seeing our daughter. Compared to his arrogant look before the divorce, now he was like the person I first met, cautious, self-deprecating and introverted. He didn't even dare to look me in the eye when talking to me. Is there really no chance for us anymore? After leaving you, I realized how good you were to me. Bai Chi was sincere. During our marriage, he was blinded by various halos and flattery from others, thinking that everything he had achieved was due to his own strength, believing that even if he left me, he could still maintain everything. He didn't see my value and didn't care about the reputation and status I brought him. Only then did he realize. After leaving you, I also realized that Su Exen was so good. I used to think that relying on my family and parents was shameful. I wanted to find a husband who loved me and a good job to earn money to support the family on my own. In the end, I found that although my parents seemed to ignore me, they were actually caring about me all the time. Bai Chi's job was actually arranged by my parents behind the scenes. I also thought that I had fought for it for him through my own efforts. If I said that after going around the only person I truly loved was you, would you think it was ridiculous? Bai Chi also knew it was ridiculous, so he laughed first after saying that, mocking his own stupidity and arrogance in the past. I watched as my daughter ran far away, and I immediately chased after her, leaving Bai Chi behind, crying and laughing. I used to hope that he would take on the responsibility of a father and spend more time with the child and me. Now, I felt that it was quite good for me to be both a father and a mother. Anyway, I wouldn't deprive my daughter of any love. For the rest of my life, taking care of the one I gave birth to and accompanying the ones who gave birth to me was enough. The end.